All right, we're live. How's everybody doing today? How are you doing,
Yeah,
Roy? You doing good?
I'm doing great. The last day of school was Friday.
Oh,
The final exam will be Monday, and then I just have to grade that and do like some bookkeeping stuff, and then I'm free for the summer.
nice.
Yeah,
Lots of jits and hanging out and enjoying
yeah,
California.
exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, well, yeah, I was down in Forest. Our nephew was running track. I went down to his, I guess they call it regionals, but it's before sectionals in Indiana, so it's all just backwards because it's Indiana. So, that's Indiana. But
That's how Illinois is.
no, Illinois is regionals, sectionals.
Yeah, then.
Indiana's sectionals, regionals.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So anyway, but like I showed up and I was like, time zones are all messed up because there's certain counties in Indiana that are Illinois time, and so I'm driving down and all of a sudden I think I'm super late, and then I'm like, how can I be super late? And then I show up and I'm actually like a half hour early. So it's like supposed to meet them at 5, and then like I got there at like 4:30, and I'm walking around because I still haven't figured out that I'm actually early yet. I can't find them, but there's this table of like 40 people, and they're just hooping and hollering. It's like 4:30 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and
They tailgating a high school track meet.
actually it was they're like, oh yeah, that's the teachers. It was end of school.
Oh,
So they're just all just bombed out at like 5 o'clock, and so yeah, they were maybe even more excited than you for the end of the school year
yeah.
this particular time. So that was cool. Yeah, no, I mean it's been good. I've been working like 5 a.m.s, but that's been okay. We got a lot of work that needs to be done, and like we have maintenance windows where we can work at certain times. I signed up
That's
for it.
5 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, man.
yeah, it's I thought it'd be great because I'm like, oh yeah, it's summer. I can do all this stuff after work, man. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, that's
but I'm
great.
like falling asleep on the ride home. You know,
Yeah,
like I get home and I'm like, so I'm still adjusting to the 5 a.m. deal, but it's all good. I mean,
yeah.
it's been beautiful getting the landscaping in and stuff like that. So
We
all
gotta add You reminded me. We got to add going to one 6 a.m. jujitsu class to my fitness goal.
like one per year, one per
Yeah,
week. What are we talking
one
about?
this summer. One this summer.
One this summer. Yeah.
Uh, it's not easy.
No, no, yeah. So Amy and I were we were getting up at like 5 to walk like 4 miles,
Oh, okay, okay.
and felt really really good. Like that was easier than working at 5. I
Yeah,
don't know, like like I
that's nice and cool.
yeah,
I can see the benefit.
for sure.
It's just tough.
It
That's all.
is. There's some challenge there. I look huge. We're gonna have to figure out this proportionality and the sizes on this particular view here. But
Sure. Sure. If I get closer to the camera,
yeah, now you look huge. All
now I look good.
right, we need to.
I'll slide mine a little
There
closer
you go.
there.
Yeah, we need to hire a producer. All right, well, let's get going. Looks like we're gonna. I guess today we'll do a U20 rapid reaction a little bit anyway, and then there has been news. Wow, we missed last week. Memorial Day, holiday weekend, and also like not a ton going on.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if we're gonna be completely honest, like there was not a ton going on. So anyway, let's get started here. Our quote of the week. So we got Jordan Burroughs. I guess again, if you're watching this pod and you don't know who JB is, then he's very Googleable, and he is a Olympic and world champion,
Mm.
and a lot of people mind everybody's favorite wrestler. Uh, I thought it was kind of so. He posted a thing. Did you see he had a post about cursing
I
this
did
week? Yeah,
actually. Just seeing this quote right now made me want
right,
to put it in our best of X. We'll bring it
right,
back
yeah.
though. We'll bookmark that.
That was interesting. So, and it's kind of funny because like people who like are good at wrestling but like cursing are like, well, it's not all bad.
Right.
It's just kind of funny, like, no, I like to curse. I like.
Right.
Anyway, so the quote, back to our quote, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will.
Hmm. Well,
So
what is the
let's
what is
let's
the
talk
benefit of
about the people who didn't make Olympic teams because of Jordan Burroughs. Was
okay,
that doubt or failure?
right.
No.
And I think if you wanted to get a quote about the death of dreams, a multiple time world champion would be like the least expert.
Right. Yeah, there was this time I took third in the Olympics.
Yeah, I got that bronze in Rio. And,
Dang it. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, oh yeah. But yeah.
how would he know? I could
Good.
tell him
Hmm.
to.
Right. What do you know about failure, man? All right. Cool, cool, cool. Yep. But uh he's good for the sport. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's one of my favorite color guys too. I mean, he
yeah,
doesn't do it very often, but him and John Smith
yep.
are both just phenomenal on the mic. And you know why?
Why is that?
Because they know everything about wrestling,
Yeah,
except
it's
how to
it's good.
lose, right? They know
It's good to
everything
have
except
someone who
failure.
knows wrestling
Yes,
on the mic.
it's
It's
very,
very,
very.
very. Cormier is really good. I
Hmm.
remember hearing Jordan Burroughs tell a story after he won his first. I forget if it was a World or Olympic. I think it was an Olympic when he won his first time.
Hmm.
And they asked him what he's going to do, and he said, "I'm going to go party." And then USA Wrestling like pulled him aside and said, "Hey, we don't say party, we say celebrate." And but that was his first. I think the way he told the story, and I'm characterizing it so he can speak for himself, but I think he said at that point he had to decide like, did he want to be a representative for wrestling or just be a successful wrestler, and
Right,
he decided that he was going to be a representative.
right. And so from now on, smoking weed is called celebration.
Right.
I have decided that I am no longer gonna say partying. I am gonna celebrate.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Like a champion.
Hmm. Right. All right. So
Okay.
goals. Speaking of goals, they're not good. So biking. 2 weeks ago, I went group ride in Lansing,
Wait,
and
what? You got into an accident?
no, I was on a group ride in Lansing.
Oh,
So like it's like 23 miles. They average like 18 miles an hour. And as you can see, I don't have many miles in yet. And I got cooked. Oh man. I have
mm,
like I look I mean, it was rough. I look at my bike and I hate it. I haven't been back on the bike since. I gotta bring it back. And then like I didn't update the slide because I wanted to do it like in real time. And then I'm like, well, Fitbit, how we doing on our heart rate here? And it's not good. I gotta be honest. I checked. It's 71.
71. Oh, are you going backwards?
Yeah, that's not good. So I think I think I'm gonna blame some combination of the lack of sleep with the 5 a.m. wake up
Yeah.
and the beer. With a little bit of not riding the bike in there as well.
Right.
But it's an interesting thing because it like, I mean, you know, your habits, behaviors, and
Yeah.
how you manage yourself have like a very instantaneous effect on like your resting heart rate. So apparently, I've not been so good to Ralph. Last little bit. Well, how about you?
Well, you're training your heart. Me, so I got back to lifting this week. Did some hang cleans. I tweaked my hip a little bit,
Mm.
so that was a bummer. I so I didn't push it in terms of increasing weight, and then it wasn't like that bad. I wasn't even limping, but it was like a dull sort of pain. I remember that happened to me when I used to wrestle too, sometimes. But anyway, I got back in the gym and I found out a way to get into, well, the gym more often because I used to have to like ask for permission, and I finally got a key.
Oh, nice.
So that's good. And yeah, I've been a little busy finishing up school, so I'll be back going to jujitsu Tuesday. Today was going to be the day, and then it ended up not being the day. So Tuesday it is. And as far as the Titan Mercury investigative reporting, they have not gotten back to me still. Now this summer I'll have a lot more time to sort of like press the issue.
Oh, all right.
I'm sure they're really busy. They're very well represented in Final X, so they got other things on their mind right now.
Yeah, they're getting some stuff done. Everybody's doing the timer. All right, well that's good. And then you're gonna consider adding a single
Oh yeah,
6 a.m. jujitsu class to this list.
yeah. At
That's
6 a.m.
that's bold. Oh man. All right. So
Well,
news and
it's
notes.
blazing hot today, so I mean, I'll pick one of those like 95-degree days and just go at 6 a.m.
There you go.
Sleep the rest of the day.
Sweet. Hey, this is something I found in a drawer, so I thought this was kind of cool, kind of fun. The this must be what, freshman year? The old slickster with there you go.
Oh,
You got your
that's
black
actually that's sophomore year.
sophomore. You got your black eye going. You got your split sole Asics.
Yeah, my
Hey,
split sole A6. I put a little arrow there.
saw that.
Point that out.
So Dad never let me get those. Like he made me ride those blue and orange Gables single sole. Those Gable Asics were pretty sweet too, though. Like,
Yeah, they all work. Nobody wears split soles anymore, as far as I can tell. So I guess they're just not popular. Those, for anyone who doesn't know, it had like the rubber on the front and the rubber on the heel, and in the middle was just cloth, so your foot could like
right?
fully flex. It was the rage when I was in high school. Those they don't look fancy by today's standards, but those were like letting my opponent know I'm
Yeah,
serious.
right. This guy's for real, right here. Be careful. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
They stood out, because all the other ones were basically white, right? I mean, like,
yeah,
and unless you had like it was like only the Olympians wore like Adidas.
yeah.
You couldn't go down to what was that not Foot Locker store called in Oak Park? I don't know what was that.
There was a Foot Locker.
Was it called? Was it Foot Locker?
Yeah, at the mall.
No, it was like maybe I don't know. But they had like that shoe store, and like they basically just stocked Asics wrestling shoes. Didn't get too crazy.
Yeah, and Nike back then, that was like the cheap, like $17 shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
They were all
Right.
black with a white Nike swoosh, but that if you showed up with those, man, you were just a total joker.
Right. No, like the Adidas were like the elite one
Yeah,
because you had to like right. You had to like trade with a Cuban or something to get those back in the day.
right.
I think Xena might have had them. A couple guys maybe, but they were serious. Yeah, though you got a little shiner. You remember who gave you that little black eye there?
I don't remember who gave it to me. I think it might have been Fioravante, the coach.
Oh, really? Who was coaching?
Yeah, yeah.
Chuck or Gino or like
Gino.
Gino? He wrestled at Eastern. He was coaching you guys back then.
He coached us for a little while, and I remember he'd work me over real good. And, I got that shiner, I think the day before picture day, and I was actually very proud of it. I was
Right.
like, this is the right way to take a
Yeah.
wrestling headshot.
Yeah. I liked, yeah, Gino. He was cool. He was nice, super cool guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Always real honest too. I remember one time he said, "Man, you're tough, man. That when someone starts getting on your head." Okay. You're probably
Yeah.
right. All right, for sure, man. Yeah, we were up in the room. You didn't come with it, right? So like Dad, Gus and I were up in the room.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit. And
Did they still have that husky on the wall?
yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, they had the beam was there with the pull-up bars.
Okay.
And then I want to say the Husky was there, but on the other wall, remember they had the Wall of Fame where they had like Obrachta and Rogers and like all the
Yeah,
state champs and stuff like that. Like that had like blown out. They pushed that
yeah,
whole locker room back, so they had like a bigger room. It still
yeah.
seems small, but
Yeah, there's no wrestling specific locker room anymore, right?
yeah, I mean, I think that's what they did. Is they kind of just scavengered the locker room.
Turned
Yep.
it into
And
like
where the
a,
showers were is just a bathroom now. And
yeah.
then yeah. So but they're I mean it's co-ed now, right? So like
No, that's true.
it's a different world. So you can't just have everybody showering and like
In one room, the way we, yeah,
Speaking of that, Gino used to take like cold showers after practice. He was an innovator, man. I remember. I'm like, really? And then like so then I took one. I'm like, yeah, that's all right.
yeah. After a workout, I do
Yeah.
cold shower.
Because that was like they used to the shower heads were just unscrewed, so it's just like a hose.
Right.
Like oh yeah.
With the
Yeah.
timer, right? I think you couldn't leave them on. They all had like a little
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
You
Just
just,
push the
like,
button or whatever. Yeah. Oh, good stuff, man. Yeah, still hot as blazes up there. For sure.
perfect.
Right. Michigan report. Let's see. So Real Woods, what I have there, our guy, Final X. I guess we probably talked about that, right?
Yeah.
So Alex Kramer from CMU. They spelled his name wrong, but he was Mac Medal of Excellence recipient, so good on him. We saw him wrestle in Philly a little bit, so
Yep.
congrats to him. Let's see. Brock Nora up until oh my goodness. So he made it to the best of three finals. That guy was freaking good. The Henkel or whatever, like he's a Penn State commit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh my goodness, man. Penn State's finally gonna get some athletes. Like that guy was freaking like insanely good. But anyway, congrats to Brock. I'm super excited to see him and his brother wrestle next year. Super fun guys to watch wrestle, and you know, big things for Nonas. And then came out of the gate strong, U23s. So let's see, what did we say here? So Wolverines, 9-1 first session. Two
Nice.
techs from Charleston, one each from Gilcher, Owens, and Mantanona. The big Mantanona. I don't know if he's bigger or not, but we'll call him the older one. And then Cooper Flynn got upset by Tanafu, so very cool. They did had a pretty strong tournament. What do we got going on? Oh, no Stanford report.
Um, well, I know all who's competing. They were not doing a up to date job of telling who did what.
Right.
All they
So
said, Duffy won his first match. They posted that,
yeah.
and then I was like, if they're posting at that level of detail, I can
Right.
just follow their account.
No.
And they quit there. So I'll have to. None of them made the finals.
Yeah, no, I watched I did see Bassett Valencia and it was like this close. Oh, did I lose you? Are you muted?
No, I'm not
Okay,
muted.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So I'll rewatch that one for sure.
yeah, that's worth watching. Uh I feel like oh man, I don't know. Like I think that Valencia is gonna be I think he's gonna be in the mix for 28. Just he's
For
really
the
got it.
Olympic
Yeah,
in LA.
I don't know. I don't. I'm not predicting he's going to be the guy, but like, I mean, I
No, but
think that
yeah.
like he can win a match or two at the trials. But there's a lot of. I mean, that's the
More than
crazy.
that, I mean, he was this close to beating Real Woods
Right. That's what I'm saying. He is
in the final X.
the this close guy.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
sometimes the this close guy just is always the this close guy, and like
Yeah,
sometimes he makes that one adjustment, right? So like, I don't
yeah.
know. I think that he will get her done.
And he's still still very young. Like
Yes.
sometimes we talk about these high schoolers and that are doing amazing things, and so someone who's like 20 or 21 years old like doesn't register as very young anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
that's very, very young.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
saw like I don't know, I was like just kind of getting like well, when you start at 5 a.m. by about midday, you're not as interested in working anymore, you know. So next thing you know, I'm like, oh, what can get me motivated? And I'm like, oh, let's watch Boba Jenkins pin David Taylor. I don't know. I just like watching that, and like so I just start watching that, and then all of a sudden it's on YouTube, and so like you're reading some comments, and then you realize that like some guys like David Taylor was 21 years old in that match
And as a redshirt freshman.
as a redshirt freshman. And I'm like, and I started thinking about it, and like, I don't know the birthdays, but Joey Blaze is 19,
Right.
so he'll be 21 when he wrestles his last NCAA tournament.
Right.
So will Joey Blaze be younger, like when he wrestles his last NCAA tournament match, than David Taylor was when he wrestled his first?
Right.
And again, I don't know the birthdays, but like the age thing is just so weird, you know, because like you're saying like they're saying this guy, like you're watching this U20 stuff, and they're like, he's a sophomore in high school. Yeah, but he's got a mustache.
Right.
Those are his car keys, or whatever. It's just like
And it's so rare that they actually explain how this happened. They did a little thing with RBY where they made that documentary and they
right,
said, oh, he took a gap year after eighth grade
right,
and a gap year, I think, after high school, and then gray shirt, red shirt, and all these things happened. And then they actually made a real timeline, but they rarely do that. And that was just because they wanted to do a special interest piece with RBY.
right. And obviously, David Taylor turned out to be a pretty decent wrestler, right? But I feel like he was groomed to be a four-timer,
Right.
right? They were trying to make him into a four-timer, and
Right.
which makes the story even better.
Yeah. Well, originally, so his redshirt year was at Iowa State when Kale was at Iowa
Oh,
State.
okay, yeah, right.
And that's why and then Kale, for whatever reason, thought that, and he was obviously right, that Penn State would be a better place to build a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
And so he took David Taylor with him. And I don't know how many other people he took. It might have just been David.
Yeah, and his
And
brother. No, was his brother was coaching already, right? At
yeah,
Utah
as a
Valley.
coach,
Yeah.
he took some of this coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
but wrestlers wise, I think Taylor was the only one. I might be wrong about that, but anyway, and that was why, like, all the drama around Bubba Jenkins felt kind of manufactured to me, because they were like, we got this guy David Taylor, we want him in the lineup, and we're gonna find a reason to, like,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, oh, you didn't
Yeah.
live up to your seed or that one time or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, no. And they made him go like they wouldn't let him wrestle in the Big Ten. He had to go all the way out to
Yeah.
Arizona, and then like, and obviously he was a national team member. I mean, phenomenal wrestler, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and he picked a good day to show out
Yeah.
for sure. Yep. And I still wasn't ready to work, so I watched Caldwell Metcalf, and then I was ready. All right. So this is our latest uh, bit. What do we want to call it? So off the top rope. So off the top rope is a hot take of the week. We're not going to share it with each other before, and this isn't necessarily something you think's going to happen. In fact, it probably shouldn't be something you think's going to happen. This is something that you believe there's a 1% or less likelihood of happening, but just something, I don't know if we want to call it fun, but just interesting or something. Man, what if this happened? What's that kind of a what if section? Or what's the hot take of the week? So I'll go first. Okay. So this is my hot take, and then we'll and then you'll tell me why it's not going to happen. That'll be it. So you'll have to you'll take the side of logic, if you will, and then I'll take that. All right. So go ahead. We'll switch over the solo view. I got effects, man. I've been like, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, ready. Now here we go. We got some fire going, like ready for the hot take. All right. And then like I got text on mine. I don't know how we're gonna do yours because like so my hot take of the week, due to all the transfers and NIL, there will be a huge team related scandal in the next 2 years that will change the wrestling landscape. So I'm not sure what it's going to be, whether it's going to be, it could be drugs maybe, or it could be steroids, or it could be, who knows, something crazy, coach infidelity, who knows what it's going to be. I don't know what exactly it's going to be, but this is my hot take. Because there's so much information exchange now, there's teams, you guys going from one team to another, due to the competitive nature of the sport, and like everybody wants their advantage and things like that, that there's going to be some major scandal that changes the landscape. And I guess when I say changing the wrestling landscape, I mean like a major coach is going to move or resign, or let's say like 5 or 6 people are going to leave a team at one moment, something like that. Why is that not going to happen?
That has never happened. Whenever there's a scandal, first of all, change the wrestling landscape. I mean, if you just say that some major coach is going to leave in the next 2 years, that could happen, but I don't think it will be because some NIL.
Oh, that will happen. Oh, yeah, NIL could be it too, right? Or like, but I mean, like when I say change the wrestling landscape, right now there's a level of predictability in wrestling in terms of the Penn State's going to win the team title next year. Okay,
that's a whole topic of debate too. So okay, do you define if Penn State as a program gets broken up, that would change the wrestling landscape? Is that
right.
what you're saying?
That's kind of what I'm saying, but like it doesn't have to be that, but that would be obviously an event that would change that.
Oh yeah, no, Penn State. There's just too many people invested in Penn State at this point. Even if they had a major scandal, even if I'll go even this far, even if Cale Sanderson left Penn State, they would still win 4 of the 5 next national championships.
Like left to go to another school to coach, or like retired?
Either way. Just if he left for any reason whatsoever. Penn State, they just got all the people. I mean, I guess with transferring, they could all leave on a dime. That's true.
Right.
But not gonna happen.
All right. That's fair. That's why we call it the hot take. Oh.
All right. Wait, do I got to do a hot take, or are we?
No. That's just
every other week.
One a week. Yeah.
One a week.
You got plenty of time to come up with.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Good.
All right. Oops. Let's see. Copy link. Drop that link in the chat. Remember. Oops.
So you're dropping the link to the Final X contest for QuadR podcast?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is it just pick them, or do you also pick like 3 or 2 matches?
So it's pick 'em, and then the tiebreaker is the number of matches that go 3.
Got it.
So get out there, win something. Not sure what yet, but
yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in the Twitter chat.
Let's see.
Oh, there's a little chat. That's a reply. No, that.
Hi, Twitter. Is Twitter still a word?
I'm sorry. X. Oh, maybe I go here and then here. Okay, maybe.
Well,
I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
All right.
That's this is 0.7 or 0.6.
0.6.
Yeah.
That's
When we
like
get to 1.0, like then we're gonna start going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
yes. For sure.
Still working it out. Still working it out.
AJ Ferrari. What do we got, man? So University of North Carolina denies admission. And the
Yeah, just to fill in like the background. So AJ Ferrari had this whole he wrestled last year at Cal State Bakersfield, which everyone always knew was kind of a 1 year holding thing, and
right.
he proved that he could be a good teammate, he could keep his cool on the mat, he could do an interview and be a gentleman and all that stuff. And he did it.
You
Um
did it.
publicly he did it. He won me over for sure. Um, I was always interested in AJ Ferrari, but I was also interested in the loose cannon,
Right.
angle. But this year he was just a great wrestler, and he had that whole LeBron James esque like "Where am I gonna go?" kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Right.
And then picked North Carolina with Rob Cole, former Cornell coach,
Stanford coach,
also briefly at Stanford.
national
And
champion for North Carolina.
exactly. Um, so they announced all that, and gosh, you wouldn't think like that, like you assume it's done, right? I've never heard of
Yeah. Right.
somebody like the admissions department like stepped in the 11th hour and said
Yes.
no.
It's all just so crazy. Everything is crazy about it.
Right.
Like every angle. So like I saw it pop up on X, on my phone, and I'm like, really? And then like Minio was all like, Minio's very much up in arms about this. And so he starts kind of bashing the lady who made it happen. Like you read the
Yeah.
article, so like it's like, I mean, there's all sorts of like stuff related to this, right? Beyond just AJ. I mean, I feel really bad for like AJ because I feel like AJ, put in the work, right? And like AJ, like, um, is like demonized. And then
Yeah.
you've got other athletes who do things and everybody runs to their defense, right? And like, I mean, there's even recent examples of such things like that. But whatever. But anyway, like, I mean, it is like when you read the article and like Piles is getting quoted in the article, like I was like, oh boy, like I don't know, you'd have to read it. But anyway, like I'm just what do I know? I'm just a media personality. Like these guys at Flow, like they make a lot of money off AJ, right? Or they leverage AJ in a lot of ways, and but anyway, the article was basically so people really like this is the most embarrassing thing that Ramos and Cole have ever done. This is like this is disgraceful, and then like the person writing the article is not writing it from the perspective of like, oh, we want to see AJ wrestle in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
They're writing it from the perspective, I don't know what perspective, but like, I mean, they start going through and they like start detailing all the allegations of the case, and like, and you can
Well,
see, you could,
hold on. That's not even clear. Okay, you're just characterizing this article, but is it even clear like why they did this? There's been no publicly stated reason. So all I just want
no,
to throw that out there that this is like, oh, we think it was this one lady and we think that she's still hung up on this or that, and we don't actually know. We don't actually know that, right?
yeah, I guess that's like, okay. So there is someone quoted in the article
Okay.
about how horrible it is that Cole and Ramos would do this, and it's an embarrassment to North Carolina. Now, whether they're the one who influenced, like she's probably not influential enough to like make it not happen, but she may
That's
know people who are, right. Like,
just to just for my own clarity, when that quote was that from like a X post or was that from a conversation and somebody remembers she said that? Um, that I feel like that's important because I remember in the article they fixated on her because she had made a public statement saying she didn't want this AJ thing to happen. But did she say that in the context of that's why we're not letting it happen? Or did she just say that as like, the week after the announcement and she's just not happy about it?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Like she was definitely like I felt like the quote was more like an expression, a very serious expression of an opinion, related
Right.
to them doing that, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, well, anyway, like, so and then the article like did like kind of line by line the allegations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then and like if you don't, I would just say if like you don't know AJ from any context except that article, it's not written in a way where you would want him representing your school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like so you can fairly unfairly, or you can, I shouldn't say fairly, you can, using known information, you can, paint a fairly unfriendly or unappealing image of AJ Ferrari.
For
Which,
sure.
to be honest, you could do that with Carter Strachey as well.
Yeah.
Just working off public quotes and like and that type of thing. Like you could, there's people who, either because of things that they've done or things that they've said or whatever, that you couldn't. AJ is very, it's not easy, or it is easy to like sort of cast shade and paint him in a negative light, you know. But
For sure. But the thing that's weird is none of these allegations are younger than a year, right? So it's it it gives the impression that something happened between the time they made the announcement that he's coming to UNC and now. That
right,
they definitely gives that impression because all the stuff was known and he went through the whole tour. And it just seems bizarre to me that some administrator would read an article and think,
no,
"Oh, this
right,
guy's no good." Like they never met him, they have no personal connection. Like,
yeah,
and how
no, I
how
don't.
would they?
The article is not the catalyst. I think the article is a reaction to the event.
But my point is, like, if there was an administrator who just decided based on publicly available information that they hate this guy and that he can't be at our university, right?
Right.
That's so weird. That's Yeah, and everyone knows articles are written from a viewpoint and like to not reach out and be like, what's the other side of this? Or, what how much of this is many years ago when he was a teenager, things like that.
Yeah.
It's if not that it's part of the hot take section, but my hot take is there's like a lot more to this story.
Well, that is like so. I mean that's the unfair thing
Right. And then that's true.
about like this situation. It's just you're like, so people are like, okay, well, what really happened?
Right.
What dumb thing did he really do that they don't want to say anything about because they just don't want the legal, you know, jack that comes with that's
And that's so unfair, right? Because you're right. It's giving if he did something really bad, they might be protecting him. But
well, that's
I
a
just
yeah. But I mean, you go down that rabbit hole, and that sounds really bad. I mean, like, but
right, and that's what's so like you said, so unfair about the situation to not give a reason to let people speculate. Although I'll also say this, I lived in LA for like 15 years,
mhm.
and something that generates a lot of media buzz. I think there's always like, some percent chance that it's just totally fake. Like in a month, UNC's like, you know what? We're fine with AJ.
Yeah, right.
Glad we got you all interested, in our season tickets are this price, stuff like that.
Oh, like yeah, and some administrator like will fall on the sword and get fired publicly, even though they're getting some golden parachute, 7-figure exit package, and like,
But the media hype around that would be like pretty epic.
yeah, we are
AJ wins his first match at UNC.
we are drifting into hot take territory, without a doubt. Oh, but I want to make
Well,
sure
that should be
we
like the question of the week. Is AJ gonna wrestle at UNC or not? I'm gonna say yes.
okay. Well, if you want to make that the wager, I will
Yeah, let's make that the
definitely
week.
take the other side of that. I'm gonna say no. Want to
All
make
right.
sure we thank Justin Bass, the inventor of the internet graphic, for the graphic that we're using. But yeah, okay. So we'll see. So you say he's coming out in North Carolina, like they're gonna keep it all under wraps till the first match. Like,
I'm going further. I'm saying this is all fake. This is just to generate interest.
okay, quite possibly. All right, now we got a wager. That's awesome. All right, more graphics. So this is pretty much done. So we'll do our hot takes. I know we promised we'd talk U20, so here we go. We're gonna do it. So Anthony Knox versus the sophomore. Uh, so the sophomore Ignacio took the first match, which was pretty crazy, pretty exciting. Kid can go. I'm really high on Anthony Knox. I think he can compete. Definitely, I would say he's a probable All American in my mind next year at Stanford. I think he's ready to go. 4-time New Jersey State champ. So he did end up pulling it out. So yeah, I mean he's a winner. I think he's like 4-time New Jersey champion, 4-time Who's Number One winner. I mean the guy just like the guy wins, and that's why what that sophomore was able to do was so impressive to me.
Like, taking a match, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean that was. Keep an eye on Ignacio. Marcus Blaze made quick work of Kyler Larkin. I'm excited to see the Larkin kids, both of them like wrestle in college. I think their dad was a champ. Was he? He was a Hodge Trophy winner, I think.
Eric Larkin?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. He was really, really good.
Yeah, and they're good. I mean, they do well in freestyle in the senior events and stuff like that. Like his older brother. So excited to see them wrestle. But Marcus Blaze is the real deal, man.
Real deal.
And I didn't see. Did you see who won number 3 with Stanich and Bassett? Did you? So Stanich took the first match.
Okay.
Bassett eked his way out in the second match, and then I didn't.
We still don't know who won the third. This is like
happened about an hour ago. I'm sure X knows.
X knows. Yeah.
We should just check your Twitter, bro.
They auto corrected Stanich to Spanish.
Spanish, Luke Spanish.
Okay, Stanich won.
Yep.
10-0 ball.
I'm not shocked. I mean, actually, he looked like he was like gassing Bo. And like for whatever reason, like it's kind of like so a different Bo who like got into the clinch with this big Dutch guy and just got himself eviscerated, right? Just like Bo Nickel just got destroyed. Like he just didn't know what to do. And like Bo just didn't really he just let Stanich just hang on his head like hard and just was not clearing it and was not and whatever Stanich has got, he's got the Bo Bassett kryptonite.
Yeah.
And like he's a strong kid, right? I mean like
yeah, he's really good.
He's
All-American this year, right?
He redshirted. So he was an All-American.
The year before.
Yeah, freshman All-American. True freshman All-American at like 25. He's cutting like an arm off to get there. And then they just let him eat. And he's at like 65 kilograms now and like probably cutting like crazy to get there. I mean, but he's big, strong. He's the guy who has like a McDonald's tattoo or something. Kid likes to eat. But I mean the Lehigh out of the gate, Lehigh is gonna be super fun. You got Crookham, you got Seymour, the Lilidol Slayer down there at 25. You got Crookham, you got Stannis, that's gonna be a super fun team, especially early.
Yeah.
DJ Duke made, I don't want to call it light work, but he was the better wrestler.
Yep.
And D. Lockett, that Jaden James kid, had nothing. Man, D. Lockett's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I really, really hope that him and Messenbrinker in the same weight class next year. Like, I mean,
That'll be fun.
he brings some real like excitement and energy to the that weight class if he gets in it. I mean, he's good. He's just really, really, really good. I mean, that Jaden James kid basically like destroyed everybody to make it, to the finals, and then Dolphin. I mean, easy work. But maybe not as easy work as Will Hinkle and Brock Man. No, oh my goodness. I can't. That guy is so crazy, crazy good. Like, my goodness, man. He had, I mean, the Mantanonas are kind of like misdirection, quick, technique, they're funky guys, hard to wrestle, but he's just sort of like, I mean, just kept whipping them by. Just it was the exact same. Like he didn't even like modify what he was doing. He just was attacking him at will. So that kid's crazy good. So one was it Jaden James like tech fouled Sealy earlier. I wonder what happens to that Sealy guy. There's so many good guys in that Penn State room. So did McAnally or Sinclair win?
I'm looking that up right now.
So Sinclair took the first, McAnally took the second, and then we went live.
Yeah, McAnally won match 3.
Yeah. He's like, I mean, he actually ripped victory from the hands of defeat. He's a winner. I mean, Sinclair looks so good though.
Yeah, Sinclair. I mean, at the World Team Trials and the Open and everything, Sinclair is really, really good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't think. I thought he was gonna run through the bracket, but Sinclair actually won that first match 10-2, I think.
Yeah.
And then Max wins match 2 on criteria. Let's see, this third match was 3-2. So Sinclair did outscore him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like 185 at NCAAs next year. It's gonna be freaking good.
Yeah.
McAnally, Sinclair, Ferrari, like.
Oh yeah, Angelo.
I mean, that's gonna be nuts. Connor Mirasola did work. He beat him pretty good in the first match, not so much in the second. But that's an interesting one for me too, because I mean, Barr 10-0'd him last year when they wrestled at the Black Knight or whatever. Is it that what it's called? Whatever, the Penn State Wrestle Off tournament.
Right.
And so what's he do? Just sit behind? I mean, Barr's.
Yeah.
I mean, Barr's a sophomore.
Barr's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. Like, there was an interview with Levi, and like Levi's going into his senior year, and like Barr's older than him. Because Levi was like, yeah, I mean, he was fresh out. I mean, he was a 18-year-old starter. Like, but yeah, no.
Mirasola was a popular person to speculate in the transfer portal right after the season.
Well, I feel like everybody feels like he's really, really good. I mean,
he's obviously really, really good.
If you're AA good, and the guy in front of you is AA better,
right?
And he's a sophomore, and you're a freshman, and he's an Askren guy, right?
Yep.
And so there's always like, well, he'll end up in Missouri. I don't know. I mean, I feel like
Cornell. I don't know why in my head I always kind of saw him going to Cornell.
No, really?
Yeah.
I don't get that Ivy vibe from him in interviews.
But yeah, Missouri, they had a down year at NCAAs, right?
Yeah, just in general, I think they were. I think actually
rebuilding.
I think at NCAAs they might have performed overseed because I think they actually had some Cam Steed All American.
Yeah.
they had a bad year. Like
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah,
maybe
it's not like they were seeded high and they did
mhm,
bad. They
right.
just they and they didn't even do bad. It's just like by their own standards. They're usually the top 12 team, and I don't think they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were not. Rademacher, that was the same matchup as last year. He beat Cam McDaniel. I mean, he's a little better than him, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cam, he's good. He's freshman All American, right? So I mean, Rademacher redshirted last year, was a qualifier 2 years ago for NCAAs. So a little surprised. I mean, like in terms of folk, you know, Cam did better in their one NCAA, but in freestyle, and then Cole Marasola beat Deshaun Ross. I mean, Ross is young. It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, when you see like Ross and Mirasola wrestling, it's like I don't feel like Cole Mirasola's like grown into full on heavyweight yet.
Yeah.
And like, will he? Like, but I guess now he's the Penn State starter, right? So
So you better.
yeah, right. Or else they will recruit for
Yeah.
sure. But
They
yeah,
have no qualms about replacing
mhm.
him.
But yeah, good wrestling. Again, thanks again to Bash for the graphic.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, I got a bunch I got to go back and watch. I mean, it is kind of tough and like to give a whole Saturday to
It
U20
is.
wrestling. You know,
When do we know when Worlds are? They're in Bulgaria, right?
thought it was like Croatia, maybe Bulgaria. I don't know which worlds.
U20, U20. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know. I don't know when exactly they are, but
All right.
solid team. I mean, I don't know. Like, so for me, I was like U20 team. Like everybody like placed last year,
Yeah.
and like everyone was like excited about that. But like we were like fourth in gold medals. I mean, like to me, that's
Yeah.
concerning. Like, so Japan had more, AIN had more, Iran had more. They all had a pair, and we had one, Luke Lillidahl.
Yeah.
And he won his gold medal without scoring an offensive point. It's like
Well,
two shot clocks to
USA,
one.
yeah.
So
USA winning lots of gold at these age level things. That's a new thing. We weren't even expecting to win any golds before like 2005.
yeah,
We just didn't don't do as much freestyle as other countries. And the other thing is like did you hear Chael on FRL?
no,
Yeah. Oh, okay. You should listen to that. And he obviously always says a lot of interesting stuff. But
oh no,
you
I
know,
did hear Chill. Yeah, no, yeah, I heard. Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
heard.
Okay,
Yeah, and he
yeah.
made that point, that people have like 10, you can grind hard for like 10 years.
Hmm.
And if you start when you're 8, you're going to be done when you're 18.
Hmm.
And it's just like a word of caution. And USA had always traditionally not done well at these
Hmm.
age level things, partly because we don't do freestyle and partly because we don't have like wrestling schools like some of these countries do.
Yeah, but now we do.
But now we do. Now
Hmm.
we do, right? But it'll be interesting to see in the like 28 and things coming up if it's like if our performance at the world level, because by then, these people will be in their early 20s, right? And we'll see if their like investment in this age level freestyle and Greco is paying off.
Yeah, and I look here, and I mean, guys who I think will compete for a spot in 2028. I feel like, I mean, Lockett and Henkel have and McAnally,
Yeah.
and Duke and Blaze. I mean, I guess I can
Nah.
see a good number of these guys, competing
Yeah.
for the spot. I mean, gonna be tough if Spencer stays healthy. I think he's got it locked up. But 61,
Well, first of all, him staying healthy is that's a coin flip.
right? Yeah, for sure. I doubt it. 65. I mean, like, yeah, Stanish. There's a lot of good 65ers.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, that whole 10-year. We should probably. I wasn't prepared to talk about that jail interview in the. It's worth having some discussion about, I guess. But maybe next week pull out the best of it. But I mean, I agree generally that, like, I don't know about the 10-year thing. I mean, certain people just have like longevity. Burrows, every Cuban. Uh,
Yeah.
Frank Chamizo is going to be on the Italian team when he's 72, just like getting it done. But I mean, the fact that some of these people will, start to party a little bit. Some of these people will get serious girlfriends. Like, I mean, Keegan, like, O'Toole's married. Like, Levi Haynes is getting married this summer. Like, I mean, like, a lot of these guys, I mean, they're not 21, a lot of them. I mean, they're 22, 23. They got some money with NIL, so they're like, But I mean, but yeah, some of them will start hanging out and partying more. Some of them will get serious girlfriends. Some of them will run into homesickness and academic struggles. And, like, you can't, when you look at this list,
well, that's like a famous Jordan Burroughs quote, right? Girlfriends killed more dreams than failure at the world.
Right. Yeah. And then USA Wrestling went to him and said, "Why don't you change that too?" Okay, let's not say girlfriends, boyfriends. No, not that. But I think maybe failure. How about that? Okay, yeah. So right, I mean, like, right. You look at this list and, like, I mean, I don't. It's too long a bet, but what would you say the over under of number of NCAA titles on the list?
On this list?
Mm-hmm. I need to make it bigger.
Of just so just the champions?
No, you can have the.
How many NCAA titles will they all win? Yeah, I'll go with 10.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna go with like 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
So,
Yeah, you're talking about just if one guy wins 3, like those.
yeah,
all
that's
3.
3. Yeah, all 3. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't saying all 10 of them.
Dude, three's hard, man.
3's hard.
David Taylor only won 2.
That's right. But yeah, I think Duke and McAnally, Blaze, I think are all very likely to win at least one.
Yeah, I counted Blaze for 1, Duke for 1,
Stanich and Bassett. Are we counting?
Lockett for 1.
Yeah.
Ankle for 1. And then McAnally for 1. That's how I got to like 5. And then 2's so hard, man. Like, and you gotta feel like they're competing against each other as well as the rest of the field, right?
Right. But there's 10 weights here and 10 weights in college, so it's not like
So somewhere between 5 and 10. That's the pessimist optimist number or something.
Yeah.
I'll play that pessimist role. I mean, I don't see Connor Vassell, like, he can't even, like,
get in the lineup.
I mean, he's not the best in his room, man, so he's not winning one. I mean, Stanish, like, there's some potential there, I think.
Yeah, there's potential there, and he's working out with Crookham, and he's got a good room.
Yeah.
Lehigh has traditionally had like a couple guys that are like top level guys.
Yeah, for sure. They can't all go to Penn State.
Right.
Uh, all right. So what do we say this week's weekly wager is?
If AJ is going to wrestle at UNC.
Oh, right. I'll add that to the doc.
Okay.
None of the others have been settled yet, but this is a running total of like what what's already been decided. I think that probably I'll change this graphic to what's pending and just have the score. Because it doesn't really matter what was won. Or it's more interesting to think about what could be won than
Yeah.
what was. So all right. Nice. Social. So we got our guy Willie. So Willie is joining Real American Freestyle. Off the top rope, baby. Vice President of Talent Development. And I feel like it's gonna be super it's always gonna be hard to crack the pro wrestling nut, you know.
Right.
But this group seems to be at least putting resources in like respected members of the community, getting them involved. So
yeah,
that's good. I mean, like Willie's got a lot of reach, obviously. Wrestling community. He does that show with Bash as well as his own stuff, and those are pretty popular.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Not that this is an either or, but do you think they're going to be targeting the current wrestling community or trying to create new fans with this Real American Freestyle thing?
So, I mean, in order to make it work, they have to find new fans.
Yes, I agree.
Right. And so the tricky thing is like, I mean, you want to have these big events, right? And you don't want to be like claw wrestling in a high school gym, right? Like they want to like go big or go home. So the level of promotion that it's going to take, and how do they build a storyline before the first event, right? Like
they got to like have grudge matches.
I know.
Like in WWE, you're interested in more than just who's the champ.
Right.
Right. And sometimes that's kind of like a thing with wrestling where we're just so focused on the champ that someone who's like the fourth best sometimes is just not.
Yeah.
Like who's that guy again?
Right. Because I mean, well, right. I mean, like pro wrestling and other prize fighting, whether it's UFC or boxing or everything is about building stories, building champions, but also you have to have a lot of characters. You have to have a lot of investment in the outcome, even when
and the other thing is like, yeah, since you brought up UFC curates these careers,
right.
Like you have like maybe 10 matches. They have a stable of guys, and of that stable, just from the math of it, a few of them are going to emerge from their first 10 matches 10-0 or 9-1. And that's going to happen, but then you pick those guys to like create narratives around.
Right. And they have preferences, like who's got the more interesting story, right? So it's probably like, I mean, they're like a general manager in baseball is looking at his draft board and looking at like who he has and projecting out who's going to be the champions in 5 years or who's going to be the shortstop. And like, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't always work out that way because like, you have guys who put a lot of investment in, like a Bo Nickel or something, and it turns out they don't know how to fight. But like you don't know that going in, right? I mean, that's just what happens. But I mean, by the time you figured that out, you've already grown the sport by pulling in his wrestling fans and everything, and like you know what I mean. So like now, you can. I mean, now if you drop him, you're still going to hang on to a certain number of people who were brought in by him, right? And I mean, I feel.
that would be like a totally interesting idea, is to bring in like uh I don't know, like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Have them do a rest. Not that they would do it, but like
Right. They'd be
it's
good.
not this isn't the highest level, but we know that these people have followings, like
Mhm.
Jake Paul or something. Like,
Yeah, Tom Brady, or I feel like Peyton Manning would be like a great manager, like the new, because Willie calls himself the brain, so they were talking about how he's like the next Bobby Heenan or something. It's kind of funny, but like, I mean, it could like there is potential, right, to like, right, to bring people who bring an audience, and one obvious example would be like Bo Nickel, you
yeah,
know, because he's grown his fan base by going to the UFC and then potentially bringing that back, to Real American Freestyle.
yeah,
So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, I'm glad for Willie. You know, I think that he's a big voice in the sport, and
yeah.
so that'll be cool. And yeah, I'm gonna go to Cleveland for sure. Not that far from here, so I will be at the first and hopefully not the last Real American Freestyle event. But yeah, it's like 3 3-minute rounds, and I want the first round to be a work. Like they wipe the scoring clear. They just do a work. Guys are just like suplexing dudes and like that's
Yeah.
that's one idea. Also, like I think the
That
match,
was I thought of that too. Just have
yeah,
the first round be scripted.
yeah, and then like uh have them on like a 6 foot platform, you
Okay.
know, and then like a moat of like oil or something. It becomes this big Turkish wrestling match or something. I don't know. They got to do something though. Also, you were asking about John Smith, right? And
Yeah.
I found him. He's just hanging out with his cows,
Nice.
doing his thing. He shows up on Twitter because like everybody wants to get a picture with the undisputed American GOAT, 6 time in a row world champion. So yeah, it looks like he's just living the dream right there.
Yeah.
Little feed bucket and like so good for him,
Uh,
man.
little product placement in that post.
It's just a photographer's name. So
Uh,
oh, we got Cowboys. I mean, but nothing. There's no
Wait, I'm reading. He lent his name, the low single leg.
so the low single. Oh yeah, to a beer, right? I feel
Hey,
like
that's great. We got we got beer sponsors now.
well, that's Real American Freestyle, sponsored by Real American Beer. Like, so there's a lot of competition for wrestling namesake in the beer world currently. So, I do you think John Smith like was like smart enough to patent the low single leg or copyright it? Hey, you can't say low single.
Right.
Come up with some other word for that.
That's why you got to give names that don't make any sense,
Right. Yeah.
right?
I think there's like previous art on the low single, potentially.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got from Dylan?
Dylan.
Oh, I
Check.
love this.
Yeah,
That was probably the funniest thing I read that day.
yeah. So, quick note regarding World Team Trials this past weekend. I would have won 70 kilograms, 74 kilograms, and 79 kilograms coming off the couch. I said what I said.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. He's really um
I loved it.
he's really like embraced his like post wrestling persona, you know?
Yes.
And I mean he was always super exciting and now he's like trying to be super funny and he's doing pretty good at it, I think. I mean this is like an example of like I mean if they're bringing back Ben Askren,
Great.
how does Real American Freestyle not go after this bomber? I mean,
Oh, he's holding out for more money. Must be.
yeah, I mean he's like keeping it just enough interest to like waiting for that phone call. But That was like I heard an interview with Yanni. I think he was on FRL, and they asked him, "What do you think about Real American Freestyle?" And like, yeah, they didn't reach out. So
Oh,
that's interesting. That like why they, you know, yeah, not edgy enough, man.
yeah. The master plan isn't revealed yet.
Right. You gotta have some arrests and stuff. You gotta be a little more edgy, perk
Yeah.
their interest. Yeah, this was hilarious. Yeah, funny stuff. Obviously, I liked it. So, oh yeah, we got some true third matches. Is the bet how many of these actually happen?
Right. That I was thinking that when I read this
Mhm.
list of true third place matches, like man, they look great, and it kind of gets to my earlier thing of like the way wrestling is marketed and structured. It's makes it hard to get super interested in this. Um, and I think even the wrestlers themselves might not be interested in making weight.
Yeah,
But
it was like it's such an afterthought. So I remember, I mean, I watched a lot of wrestling, so like, I was like probably the only person watching like but it was like before, so it's before Final X, right? It's like in the afternoon, and I remember like Sammy Sosa, Sammy Sasso was wrestling in a true third match, and like I don't even know if he had a coach there. He like came out, he had his backpack on, he took it off, took his
right.
jumpsuit off. They went out there and wrestled. He won. He put his backpack back on and then walked away. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
absurd. It was like they pull it like they pulling refs out of the audience, or something. I mean, it was like, um,
Yeah.
I mean, there was more excitement in the Oak Park wrestling room for like wrestle offs.
Yeah.
Anybody want to challenge Gino, or whatever, like than this. I mean,
Yeah.
Sammy's parents weren't even there. It was like,
Yeah.
so like these
It,
sound
it-
great, but like, yeah, they don't.
it's yeah, well they looks like they got 88 likes. So
Yeah, well,
it's like if you added up, if you had
right.
four parents per match, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So yeah, okay, if all they broke that number at least.
Yeah. they got they got some siblings and grandparents to like
Yeah.
maybe an assistant coach here or there, but like,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah, I mean, like, right, I mean, seriously, like Parker Carter,
Great.
right? I mean, like,
If that was the final, we would have done like 20 minutes in this episode about it.
right, Blaze Hardy. I mean, like, who doesn't want to see Blaze Hardy? uh the ones that will show up will be like Cronin and Provo. like, like they'll be there. Parker and Donian, uh Joey Blaze. I mean, the Blaze brothers, since they'll probably go, right?
Right.
But like, will their opponents show up, right? And
The only thing is there money on the line? Do
there
you get a
there
stipend?
is.
Yeah, okay. So we'll see who needs the money.
I don't know if it's like 500 a month or something, but yeah, but you get health insurance too. But I mean,
Yeah.
the guys who are active college guys have insurance through the school,
That's true.
So, yeah, but yeah, no, it's like, I guess, caution about getting too excited about the true third matches. It probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Askren?
Oh, this is a video of him talking about having
I just had
visions
these
of
little people would like wrestle in my head, right? I didn't tell them what to do at all. They were just like trying to be like sitting in geography class. That was my major, and I wouldn't be paying attention at all. And I just be watching these people wrestle in my head. And like lots of times, like I would tell them a situation that I had a problem with the day before, and I would just watch them go over and over and over again. And then, so I told Coach McGuire, I'm like, yeah, dude, I got these people wrestling in my head, and that's how I learned moves. I watch these people wrestle, and then they do stuff. I'm like, oh, that's what I got to do. And he's like, well, do you know anyone else that has this? And I ask people, and they're like, nah, you're an idiot. And then I'm like, I got to ask John Smith. I asked John Smith, and he said, "Yeah, I used to. When I wrestled, I had people wrestling in my head, but not anymore. It's like I got too much responsibility as a coach now." I did a lot of visualization, right?
I think she has.
And by the time
Well, that's it. It repeated.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember I had a teammate in college, who was like really good. I remember freshman year he used to beat the hell out of me, and senior year, I don't somehow junior year maybe we didn't practice that much. Maybe we were in a different weight class, but senior year, I remember practicing with him and like kind of handling him. And I was not expecting it. It'd been a long time since we wrestled. And I remember talking to him. I wasn't like in his face or anything about like
Right, yeah.
But we were just talking to him and we're watching some film. And he was like, "Yeah, freshman year I used to have like dreams about wrestling." And he was like, "I don't have dreams about wrestling anymore."
Yeah, right.
This is done.
Yeah, I'm
I was
cooked.
like, yeah. And yeah, that just made me think of that when he said John Smith said, "Yeah, I used to," and now
Right, yeah.
they're gone.
I really cared when I was out there, but now I'm just a coach. And like,
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I think that like that was something that came up. It was a show I was watching last night, and the person was like, "You got to work the problem. Think about the dumbest way to do it, and then like solve that each problem step by step to get back to a good plan."
Right.
And like, so I mean, there is like, that's basically the same thing of what, like looking at a situation, visualizing a situation, looking at the potential counters, and figuring out why that's a bad idea, and like, I think that's basically right what he's doing. It's like deconstruction, working the problem, and he just did it with little stick figures in his head.
Yeah.
I wonder what his role is going to be. Real American Freestyle.
Yeah.
Because I guess, I mean,
he said he's wrestling, right? I thought he said he's wrestling.
right. I whoop up on some of these young guys or whatever. So like Dylan Ness. Maybe.
Oh, you know what they could do? They could have like a video game, like have like different levels, and there's like a boss to each level.
Yeah, I think that like
Ben Askren is like the level 2 boss.
On some level, like they're going with like the prize fighting model, which I think that like where you're gonna have like champions, and like a card and stuff like that, but like, and that makes sense. Like that's how the UFC does it now, but like I think that may be like, okay, that's where we want to get kind of thing, but like, I mean, early UFC was like tournaments, right?
Yeah, it was.
Elimination tournaments, right?
I think I watched one through UFC 1, 2, and 3 live.
And then like you got this ring in the center, right? And it's like it starts out as like a 3-foot platform, and then second round it's like a 5-foot platform, and then it's like an 8-foot, and then it's like a 10-foot, and you're surrounded with like foam they can fall into or whatever if the guy gets run off the mat and stuff. But like you need like to make it like a tournament, you can make like epic. And they did it in a night. So like they're talking about longer matches. And I feel like you want to make wrestling exciting, making it a longer match is probably not the way to go. Because like you look at like now, there's not much difference between a 2-minute and a 3-minute first period in folk style. I mean, everybody waits. There's 30 seconds left, and then they try to get their takedown, and then like
I longer. So hold on, I gotta say, longer means different things and different contexts. Because some part of the problem with like college and freestyle is the video reviews that occasionally take 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and so that's the problem. Long, but the actual match length, I think a 3-2-2 match wrestled with just whistles for going out of bounds and stuff is a good length. Like on YouTube, usually those will be like 12 to 16 minutes, and that's a good length. But when there's blood time, which you can't you can't avoid that. But
Right.
really, the video reviews. If there's video reviews, blood time, injury time, and all that stuff, that's when it becomes like not good TV.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have to like. It's better to get it wrong than to have people waiting around for 10 minutes.
Right, right. It's they should just have the audience vote in like 20 seconds.
Showing up on the jumbotron and like,
Right.
what do you guys
Text-
think? Like, two,
Yeah.
two,
Oh, that would be that,
with like
man,
with like exposure and all that. It's
Yeah.
like, that's 2, 2, and 1. No, it's
Like,
4 and
hey.
1. No, like it's that would be so great, right? And then like,
Yeah.
and then the audience would just vote, right? And like, they just be completely wrong.
Right.
Like,
And that'd be fine, man.
but like, so the person would have to be like hyping up their vote, you know? Be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Like you in the audience.
Is it
Come on,
is it blue? Come on, baby, it's blue.
Yeah. And then in WWE, they just keep wrestling when they're bleeding.
Right.
Just
Yeah. Right.
get rid of blood time. Just
Yeah. Right. Get patched up in the
blood
corner.
going down your face and
Right. It's like
UFC,
right.
box, everything. Yeah.
If it's like the ref evaluating it to like it's just like UFC, man.
Yeah.
If you don't need a doctor. Right. If I'm not worried about permanent damage, you got to keep going, brother.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think there is like a number of potentials, and I just hope that they're like right that they strive to be like innovative and like are willing to adjust on the fly.
Yeah.
And I feel like the best thing to do, like, or what would be cool is like figuring out weight classes, getting like signed like 8 guys, and then like have like an Ultimate Fighter type show where you like, you take
Train 'em.
you take them somewhere,
Yeah.
and then you wrestle those first 2 rounds or whatever, and then you're down to like the final 4,
Right. And make an episode about each guy.
Right, yeah, and like through the whole way, right?
Right.
Bobbleheads, trading cards, like freaking flood the zone with like merch and like mix up a little controversy, like whatever. But like, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, if it's just wrestling, I have a hard time. Like, I mean, even like me, who like I love all things wrestling, right? Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, with NCAA senior level, and then catching like the really big like U20 and U23, it's pretty full.
Yep.
Right. I mean, like hard keeping up now. So like adding in another wrestling is it's gonna have to really like make me want to watch.
Yeah.
So because like I mean, most of these guys you can still see wrestle other places. If I want to see,
Well, who knows?
That's true.
They might sign him to like exclusive rights.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We ran long, man. I thought we'd have nothing to
We
talk
got the
about.
real world champions.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And, right. They become their own country. So they wrestle in the Olympics as the real Vatican freestyle.
Yeah.
Or something. All right, man. Good talking to you. We should probably shut this down. I got a new outro for us.
Oh, nice. Let's see it.
I got Little Lex from the Micro Wrestling League taking us out, and so thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
What do they say? Like and subscribe, and have a great week, everyone. Hopefully, we'll see you next Saturday.
Turn on notifications. Yeah.
Right on.